Hello. How are you? Hi. Hey, Dis-I-Am. How you doing? Did you climb out of your coffin just a little while ago? I did pop into Jen's last night. Oh Lord, I had to exercise some adulting because as much, God, what time was it? Oh, it was after 1 a.m. I know that. I fell asleep early. That was my first problem. Then I got up at 1, thought, oh no, I think I'm having a little FOMO. FOMO combined with insomnia, but it really wasn't insomnia. I just needed to I knew if I just turned the TV off. Actually, you know what I did? I put on I think it was Scandinavian, some kind of Scandinavian detective kind of story thing on Netflix. It was actually really good, much as I could follow it. Hey Clancy, how you doing? Hey, headstones and headlines. Great work, by the way. All listen. Oh goodness, yes, that remind me, Dis-I-Am. I'll tell you the joke about that one day. Woo! Might help to put the microphone a little closer. Although I'm sure my big mouth, it's not hard to hear. Give me 1 second to look at this text message I just got. 10-4. Copy that. I'm going live right now. We will discuss at length. LOL. XOXO. Okay. Wow. Wow is all I can say. Hi, Mike Stevens. How you doing? It's me, Amberly. Hi, how are you? Y'all, listen. Betty's got me feeling some type of way here, and I'm not alone. This bitch she's just out of control. She truly is. Hi Liz, how are you? I am not an island unto myself. I know that. I know that all of the good people in this community are calling this shit out every chance they get. I'm just wondering, when are we going to hit the bottom? Because every time I think we've reached bottom, we have not. Yeah. Hey beer can, how you doing? I'm going to put a number in the chat just because I'm not going to be able to say it because I don't even know how to say it. But I'm going to put this number here and I want you all to look at this and tell me what you think this represents. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. My keyboard's text 4. Shit. 5. 74404. 74404. 76190. 48. Oops. What the hell is it with the 4? Okay. Oh, before I forget, y'all, streaming from 2 channels. That is about to be done. Hey, Texas Tiffany, how are you? We're about to be done with that. I was doing it for a very specific reason. The 2 channels are now almost at the same sub count. So what I'm going to start doing, hey, Brick with Eyes. What I'm going to start doing is just streaming from Crimes and Fashion. That way we don't have all the confusion that people who haven't heard me say it before. I stream from 2, both channels. Crimes and Fashionistas, Felons, and Fruit Loops. I see both chats as one. You all do not. You only see the one you're in. So sometimes I'll read somebody's chat and the other people are looking around going, what's that bitch talking about? They're like, I don't see them. So if that is happening to you, just click out of the one you're in and go to the opposite one. But I think this is going to be the last time that I do it. And I'm just going to use Crimes and Fashion, and then I will just upload the video from that live onto Fashionistas, Felons, and Fruit Loops. That way it'll make everybody's life easier. So listen, I'm old, okay? It's hard enough for me to remember and understand half the shit I need to appear, you know, slightly smarter than my little friend here. Okay. Oh, so would anyone, hey Liza, how you doing? Would anyone care to take a guess as to what that, my goodness, that very large number that I couldn't begin to read out loud? So just, you know, hit me with the best shot. Tell me what you think that number is. And before we really get started here, please, no hate, harassment, or doxing of anyone that I speak about, because we're better than them in every possible way. And yes, my guns are better than Betty. God dang, girl. I mean, she looks like she's got two friggin' ham hocks hanging. Oh, God almighty. I mean, damn, I meant to scrub off the old self-tanner that's left on my hands. But, you know, I had other things. It was up here and clearly I forgot. I am. That is a very good guess. Bullhorn Betty's IQ. Very good guess. Anyone else care to throw a guess out there as to what that astronomical number represents? Hey, Zena with Fire, how are you? Oh, good. Please just drive. Do not just drive and scream at, you know, yourself in traffic like I do. When I listen to YouTube, that's what happens to me. Don't be like Betty and try and, you know, live stream, listen to probably another thing. Well, I was going to say do your makeup, but that bitch doesn't wear makeup. And if she does, oh, sweet Jesus, get some more, get better, get more, she needs a wand, not a mascara wand, a magician's wand, and like a large top hat, perhaps the rabbit that comes out of the hat. Yeah. What else does she do? She reads chat. She screams and berates people. Yeah. Hello, BJ Marshall. How are you? Ginger Snap, how you doing? Oh, the coordinates to the tragedy pimp's last brain cell. God, I love that. That's brilliant. Hey, Cece Jones, Whiskey, Tango, Foxtrot. Ooh, I know that lingo a little bit. Not really. Let's see, that would stand for white something female. And what's the male? Whiskey something something. I used to know a lot of those. I don't remember any anymore. Just the whiskey tango part. Although I'm not a whiskey woman. Hi, Christina Logan. Okay, no. Great guesses, everybody, and I do very, very much appreciate it. Oh, Amberly? God, I'm sure she did. I don't know. I don't listen to that bitch. Only when I absolutely have to. Okay, so that astronomical number that I'm going to read out just for the benefit of those of you watching at home who can't see. Just to repeat again, for those who didn't see it the first time, the number 0.0000000 0 0 0 0 0 744 0476 19048. That represents the percentage. Here's how I put it into the, I would love to tell you that I sat here with my abacus and my paper and I figured it out in my head, or even with, some scrap paper. Hell no, I put it into Google. I asked Google this: what percentage of 336 billion, which is the population of the world, give or take a few million, what percentage of 336 billion is 25,000, which is roughly the amount of world famous YouTuber bull-scorn, bitch-hole, beast head Betty sub count? Yes, because, she, in her own words, she is world famous. Well, bitch, even if you were, it wouldn't be for anything good, and you're not. So get over yourself, okay? You have nothing compelling about you except for your, my goodness, the one thing in this world you seem to be pretty damn skilled at: making an abject, idiotic, dumbass fool of yourself. Yeah. That's what she does best. So that number, that astronomical number with, let me see, how many? 1, 2, okay, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 digits. Well, that represents the population of the world that is subscribed to Bullshit Betty's wonderful channel. So there you have it. It puts it all in perspective, doesn't it? I thought it did quite nicely, even though I couldn't begin to tell you what that number is. No, I'd have to call my brother for that. He was he's what's known as, I believe, like a quant. Yeah, there are people who can. They don't even need a calculator. Remind me. I'm going to show you all a picture that it's just off of, it's framed, it's matted and framed, and it's on a piece of scrap paper, believe it or not. And it was just a little formula that he did for fun. Yeah, I don't have any of that ability. So yeah, there is that. Oh, beer can. My God, it must be something going around, because my cat, oh God, she hacked up a huge hairball earlier this afternoon. Hey, SoFlo, how you doing? Jasmina D. Oh my God, you guys, honest to God, this bitch is out of her mind. She truly has lost it. That honest to God, that is the percentage of the population of the world that, she's YouTube famous in. That's the number. Yeah, it definitely puts it in perspective. Yeah, no, Betty, the only place, oh, you know what? This might be a good time to tell you all, I'm working on one of my lists. And I love a list. Yes, I do. And I'm working on one that will be representative of our friend Betty. Yes. I'm not going to tell you anymore because I don't want to spoil the surprise. It'll be good. Hey, Percy, you're back. Well, welcome. Are you still wrenched, or do I have to go in and do it again? If not, I will take care of it when I get off of here. Okay. For the standard fair use disclaimer, Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Okay. We're gonna try and go in a little bit. I just have a very few things I wrote to myself to just kind of go in a somewhat, well, not really. I was gonna say chronological order, but we're gonna start with the most recent, and then we're just gonna work our way back a little bit. Yeah. Okay. So first, and I'm not pulling any video up for this. I'm sure by now everyone is, oh, hold on one second. Okay. I am going to use a community post and I just wanted to make sure it's still there. Okay. I'm sure by now everyone is aware that Slee Stackman, also known as Jonathan Lee Richards, yeah, he's like the rest of the disgusting death birds of YouTube, the tragedy pimp vultures. Well, you know, apparently he must sit and listen to a police scanner. No, I don't know why. I mean, I know there are people who listen to them for very legit reasons. I know there are people who listen to them as a hobby. But he listens to them because I think what turns him on is, you know, death. I mean, I'm not going to say the clinical word for that because I'm not a doctor and I couldn't begin to list everything that is probably wrong with him. I don't think I need to. All I have to do is look at him. I mean, the lack of a human blink reflex at the rate. Oh, well, use Betty's metric. Mammals have hair, which just, you know, solidifies my thought that she and JLR are more akin to our reptile friends. Yes, apologies to reptiles. I know it's not very nice. Yeah, so he apparently, I'm guessing, was, you know, and I'm not just pulling that out of the rabbit, out of the proverbial magician's hat and wand that Betty needs to purchase to make herself appear to be a, oh, how did she put it? A woman dressed to the nines. Yes. For your brilliant legal career. Betty, most people, you know, fucking plastic wannabe Swarovski crystals. And even if they were Swarovski crystals, you know, that's not the place anybody's mind goes to when they hear court watcher, reporter, legal system. I don't know. I mean, you know, believe it or not, I'm a girl that, well, you know, I like crystals, feathers, glitter, flowers, pink, purple, fairy dust, pixie dust. I like all that. Oh, little pink ducks. Yeah, I like all that shit. I am everything you are not, in many ways. So Betty, just take my word for it. You were not dressed to the nines. You were dressed at a 1.5 at best. And even that you don't do well. But yeah, you or JLR, neither one of you have hair. So I don't know. I don't think mammal is the category I would classify either one of you in. Hey Slossie, how you doing? Oh, beer can. Yes. Oh, well, I like nonsense very much as well. I think I love her chutzpah, and I know that the tragedy pimps have been very hateful to her. And I think I told her one time even though I really don't know anything about the community she came from, she and I think a lot alike, and I like that. So we are part of the Mutual Admiration Society, and I thank her. Hi, T. Marie, how are you? Don K, Remy, how you doing? Becca, how are you? Anybody else I missed? I'm very sorry. I'm trying to get. Hey, Kathy Pease, how are you? I'm trying to get better at the chat. Beer can, sleeveless is not her friend. Nothing is her friend. Hefty bag with a fucking belt would be an improvement. And no, it's not. No, it's not. It's not her friend. Not her friend. But I mean, let's face it, she's got a lot bigger problems than that, oh God. I mean, the bitch has never met a lanyard she didn't fall in love with. Like, who thinks a lanyard is a fashion accessory? When I see lanyard, I think gym teacher, PE teacher. I think people who have to go in and out of, locked, people who have to swipe like key cards for things. I don't typically think YouTuber who, like I said, that's the least of the problems. Potato Patch Porky. Hi, welcome. That's a new name. Are you trying to sweat? Is that why you wear the bag? Oh God. So let's just try and go a little bit chronological here, okay? Sleestack man. However, his decomp sensors started, going off, and he got all like in the mood. Yeah. Ladies, take a good, hard, long look at that. And I mean, my suggestion would be, I think he has interests that, I think there's a reason the man is single. Probably many. Oh, okay. New name. I was going to ask you. Hi, Tia. How you doing? Okay, so here we go. JLR. However, the universe, reached out to his bald. He is the furthest looking thing from a man. I mean, my God. Maybe that's why he shaves his head, so nobody mistakes him for like an adolescent girl, because that's, he's just not masculine. I'm sorry. And I'm not saying you got to be a big meathead or like, a gym rat. But, I'm sorry. I have never dated a dude. I'm not dating a guy that can wear my jeans. And just believe me when I tell you, my jeans are not, they're not that large, and neither is he. Okay, so however the universe gets word to him that there's, that there's a tragedy, there is a potential, we probably don't even have a name yet. But wow, I wonder if that gets them extra jazzed when they find out that, they know about someone's impending tragedy and the worst day somebody's ever going to have in their life. I bet it makes them feel all warm and fuzzy inside to know that they knew about it beforehand. So he goes out, and listen, y'all, I'm from this area. I've heard it thrown around that he was going through the jungle. No, we don't have any jungle in Florida. Well, it would be more akin to rainforest, okay? There would have been a lot of saw palmetto. There would have been a ton of oak and pine trees. The alligator, apparently even the alligators have better taste than to want anything to do with him. They're like, no, we're good, thanks. Although, I will tell you something interesting about gators. Hi, twin thing, how you doing? I saw a new name. Oh, Rockabit J. Hi, how are you? Welcome. Yeah, gators. My husband told me this. I didn't even know this. As a lifelong resident of Florida, gators, when they kill something, they usually hide it for a day or two before they will begin to eat it. Now, of course, I guess that depends on how long they've, gone without. I don't know how quickly they digest their last meal. But, that I don't know. I don't like talking. It's just gross. But anyway, however, the universe got word to Sleestack Man. He was on the case. Yes, Caillou is on the case. And he, it really doesn't, it doesn't speak well of his investigatory skills when, if you believe, interestingly enough, all the other people out there that were legit searching for Sarah Dreyer, and she's a beautiful girl. It's very sad. I hope that she is found alive and well. But interestingly enough, all the other people who were out there to really legit search and help this family, even though I think the family is quite wisely, I think at this point, they know about the YouTubers. That's become apparent, and they don't want any part of it. And I can't say that I blame them. And yeah, he was the only one, I think, that rather than go where law enforcement or the legit real search organization that was out there was directing people. Yeah, he was looking for the house. You fucking idiot. I think her family, they're aware that she's missing, dumbass. And so were you. I mean, the only reason he was there, listen, I can't explain what are probably a large group of little old ladies who think he's cute or whatever they think about him. I mean, this world, we're doomed. We are doomed because how do you have a record like him? And listen, you got to be real stupid to not see what he is about and what he's doing. Oh, and by the way, I'm not going to show it, nor am I going to read it. But I did get sent a screenshot of him. Oh, I'm not even going to say dry begging. He was straight up begging. He wanted all those little old ladies, I guess, or whoever listens to him to, you guys, give me some money so we can buy a drone so I can get us pictures. You're disgusting, you piece of shit. And oh God, I'm not going to comment on your family because I don't know your family, and they very well could be nice people. Yeah, I have known very nice people who've had things like him spring forth from their loins. So, I'm not going to speak on that, but he's just foul. And he and Betty, I don't know. I don't know if Jonathan, well, I mean, I guess he likes women. Yeah, in fact, I forgot. I actually spoke to his ex on a live one night, quite unexpectedly. Yeah, I had to play a YouTuber who has never pretended to be a reporter, who is not a reporter, with a very unexpected interview subject. Yeah, that's another story. And she was, my God, she was so cute. Don't ask me. I don't know how it happened. I think he and Betty they're in good company, the two of them. It's surprising that they don't, well, I don't know. Maybe they do. Oh, God. Yeah, no, I don't want to contemplate that. Hi, Alaska. How you doing? Okay, so yes, Don K. Mangroves. Yes. Correct. He got it. I just honestly, I can't even adequately give the words to how disgusting, heinous, vile, foul, reprobates, rapacious. They're just, I just can't stand these people. I can't. And what they do and the way they exploit other people's worst days. I cannot even tell you what I would do. God forbid I ever found myself in that situation and I had those ass clowns wanting to make super chats and get drones. Betty, you need to ask for a big girl wardrobe is what you need to ask for. Next grift, why don't you throw that in there? Yeah, it's, you know, it's what's up here that oh, don't worry, it comes shining through. And I believe I told one of your friends that she could wrap herself in a Chanel flag and it wouldn't help. It wouldn't change what she is. And the same holds true for you. But, you know, there's a lot of retinas that get burned every time you like come across the visual field. So, you know, if you wanted to, I know you're a very civic minded individual. So, you know, maybe you should just do the world at large a solid and, you know, just, I know you think you're dressed to the nines. Well, then maybe you should shoot for, I don't know, the 37th to the 12th power. Aim high, girl. You can't always be playing around. And how many digits did we say that number was? I forgot. Was it 17, 14 digits? Yeah, bitch, you are not famous. You are never going to be famous. You are infamous at best. And you and your dumbass followers, you seem to be the only groups of people that cannot distinguish between the two. So here we have this family who they don't know where their daughter, does she have children? Oh, I hope not. But JLR's out there, and for whatever reason, Betty, this bitch who has never had a nice word for anyone, probably in the world. Well, for whatever reason, oh, she just Betty loves her some JLR. I don't know why. I'm sane. I can't begin to figure out what these disgusting people all see in each other. But, you know, clearly that there's something. Birds of a feather and whatnot. Water seeks its own pond scum level. Yeah, y'all are like that foamy shit that collects around the beach. Well, like in Florida. When I say beach, I don't necessarily mean just sand, but, you know, here in Florida, whether it's a pond, a lake, a river, whatever the case may be, wherever the entry point is, that there's, you know, sand or wet grass, whatever it is. Yeah, they're the foamy shit that collects all around the perimeter. Hey, Pat. My dog's like, oh, Mom, are you talking about those gross people again? Yes, honey, I'm sorry. No, we took a long walk before I came in here. Sorry, hold please. Okay, we're going to be here forever, so we're keeping it moving. Well, for whatever reason, JLR puts out the dog whistle. Oh, well, that's an apropos name. Yes, he blows the dog whistle, and Betty comes panting like a fat little basset hound, you know, just scurrying on its short little legs and its ham hock arms. And I don't know what the problem was. I don't give a shit. I don't care if that family opened the front door and gave that piece of shit what he deserves, which is at least a real big old hawker, like spit right in his face. I don't know, maybe a can of fucking ravioli to the head, whatever. It doesn't matter to me what it is that got him in his feels. But for whatever reason, this is your child advocate, your victim's advocate. Bitch, you are nothing but an advocate for what is probably your overdrawn bank balance. And I still am not giving you both barrels, but we're getting close. And the only reason that I'm gonna hold back on things I would say to you is because I don't want to insult other people that it would probably offend. So I'm not going to do it. But just know that I'm thinking it. And I know what you would represent to me in my real life. Okay, so let's read, shall we? This is from Queen Bee's community page. I know everybody has seen it, but we're gonna read it here too. Okay, so the family of this poor missing woman, Sarah, is it Dreyer? Yes, Sarah Dreyer, made a posting yesterday that says, there have been a few YouTubers coming by the house and trying to speak to the family. While we appreciate the platform and believe it is being used to help spread the word to help bring Sarah home, please respect the family's privacy. Don't film them or request to speak to them. This situation is unimaginable and they deserve to feel safe on their property. Additionally, if anyone who is out there and is approached by a YouTuber, please remember the information you may have should only be shared with the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Department. Thank you all. Let's work together to bring Sarah home. Nothing but classy and respectful. Two things these pieces of shit know nothing about. Okay? Oh, and you know, just me being petty Betty, I'm just going to throw in very nice and liberal use of punctuation. So, high marks from this American judge. So, you know, I truly just cannot ever fathom or understand being the kind of person who posts the reply that apparently one of the most delusional women on earth, Betty, posted. And, you know, Betty, I don't know if you have anyone in your life who truly gives a shit about you. I would hope your own family does. Because you know that saying, you've got a face only a mother could love? Yeah, well, that too. But no, you've got a hateful, cruel, foul, soulless disposition. You are truly, I am shocked that you're not in a prison somewhere, because you are the exact person that prisons are filled with. People who cannot play within social norms. They do not have apparent normal sympathy and or empathy for their fellow humans. They, much like yourself, seem to delight in flexing your non-existent muscle, Betty, you go right ahead and think you're world famous. You are a world famous joke. Do you realize that this community, okay, as fractured as it can be, as the petty infighting that happens, which happens because anytime you get a group of people, many of whom are women, all in the same place, and they are all competing over ego, bragging rights, money, channel size, etc. It just sometimes, with a bunch of women, it gets petty. All that being said, do you realize, if I had to put a number on it, a percentage, much like the percentage I put in the beginning of this show, Betty, you are widely detested and despised by the community. And we're not all wrong. It's you, Betty. It's not all of us. It's you. You, instead of worrying about buying cameras and drones and, my God, she even bitches about the fucking gas pumps. Betty, what you ought to ask your subs for is a lifetime unlimited gift card to Talkspace. That book you've been trying to read for 15 years, it ain't working. You need to figure out what it is that makes you, Betty, it's just a gift from the universe that your outer ugliness is equally matched, if not exceeded, by your inner ugliness. You are one of the most hateful, cruel, vicious, defensive. Betty, you ain't right, okay? I don't know any other way to put it. I am not a doctor. That is all in my opinion. But I don't think you need to be a physician to see that. To say you don't play well with others, that doesn't even scratch the surface. You are you are straight up delusional. Oh, yes, and I do have a screenshot about that. Because you are truly, I mean it. When I say I'm surprised that she is not in prison somewhere, give her time. I mean that. She's vengeful, she's vindictive, she's spiteful, she's hateful. That I don't know what happens to make you become like that. I don't know if you're born. I think she was probably born that way. I don't know. But I think, Betty, you are no victim's advocate with a D. No, you're a victimizer. The only person you advocate for is you. So here's Betty's, see, here's the thing. If you are a Betty supporter and you happen to be within the sound of these words, just ask yourself, listen, this ain't rocket science, folks. How? Hey, Cobra, how you doing? How does someone who, even though, listen, I can call myself a victim's advocate, a child advocate. Just in the broadest of terms, if you're normal and you have a heart right here and not some cavernous, damp, bottomless void where your heart should be, you naturally are never going to want to pile on to anybody who's suffered this kind of loss. And Betty, you don't know jack shit about being a mother. And you don't have to be a mother to advocate for a child. So you go ahead and tell me what kind of, hey Heels, how you doing? What kind of advocate makes a response such as this? I'd like to first say that I'm sorry for what your family is going through. Okay, so we're off to a decent start. It also sounds like someone has provided you horrible information about the YouTuber out helping. And most of these people, comma, dumbass, because right now all we got is one giant run on. It's onerous to read and listen to. But so are you. So I guess it's apropos. About the YouTuber out helping. And most of these people, we call them trolls and cockroaches. Wow. Yeah, because that is definitely a point that really needed to be, Betty, we don't have to get to the second sentence, which, by the way, that should have been at the very least 2, possibly 3 sentences. And, you know, you need to meet a comma. It tells me everything after the first sentence means just be authentic, be real, and forget the first sentence and say, hey, I'd like to say that you hurt my friend's feeling. I don't give a shit what you're going through. I mean, Betty, dispense with the pleasantries because you don't know how to be pleasant, which is very obvious by your next incredibly long run-on sentence. And, you know, sorry, I hate to be the grammar police, Betty, but most people that claim they have a legal background, which would indicate some type of, you know, something beyond a GED or high school education. And, you know, they know how to use proper usage, grammar, and punctuation. But that's just me being picky. Sorry. Just doesn't look real professional. We will make sure your case won't be covered on YouTube or other social media, and we'll make sure every social media personalities knows to stay away from this case. You wretched, soulless, see you next Tuesday. Only in your very convoluted frontal lobes. Betty, you're the only one who thinks you have the power to do that. You do not. You're nobody. And I'll refrain from more on that. Clearly, well, I'm speaking it as an educated person should have written it. Comma. Mean a fucking comma. Okay? It's funny because I have a feeling that your poorly written words are exactly how you think. Just one big long blah, 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 blah. See, Betty's always the smartest one in the room. Only if the room, I used to say, is a linen closet, but now we're going to have to downsize that room. And we're going to downsize that room. Well, you know, if a kitchen cabinet junk drawer can be a room, well, that you might be smarter than my dry rotted rubber bands, my little Post-its that, you know, they keep coming off the page, and your 300 pens that are in the drawer, they've got them all funked up, and, you know, like the random chip clip here and there. Yeah, Betty, you might be the smartest one in that room. You notice I said might. Clearly, comma, mainstream media isn't help, because I can barely find an article My friend, oh, a comma, a YouTuber, comma, was out in the woods searching for your loved one for 2 days in this heat. Actually, Betty, it's been rather pleasant out the last few days. I know because I live here. Yes, I hate to have to share the state of Florida with you, but I can't control everything. I was out searching for JJ Rolland. Is that the proper? I'm just going to Google really quick because I don't even know that that is the correct last name for that child. No, dumbass, it's Roland. There you go. There's your victim's advocate. Oh, yes, she's such an advocate for children and victims. She can't even fucking be bothered to get the names right. And he's not the only one. Don't worry. I'm gonna give you some more examples. I was out searching for JJ, incorrect last name Roland, should be Roland, and he was found, comma. I'm a world famous YouTuber, like the one helping. Oh, you mean the one who spent 13 years in prison? Yeah, him. I think his skills would be much better put to use on, like, I don't know, Survivor, Prison Escape Edition. I'm sure your message hurt his feelings and his heartfelt efforts to help. You wretched skank. Neither you nor that psycho have feelings or hearts. So stick to things you know, because you don't know anything about that. I was going to join the efforts as well, but I didn't think I'd be able to grift enough super chats at this short notice. Oh, I'm sorry. That was my bad, Lisa. I was going to join the efforts as well, but will refrain from doing so. I do hope you see the how this statement isn't helpful and will only hinder any help you may need in the future. No, you ugly AF, see you next Tuesday. I'm sure law enforcement and the real professionals have the matter well at hand. Dumbass criminals who've spent over a decade in prison, and the ones like you who have 42 entries in the civil and or criminal docket, no, they don't need your help, sweetie. And I know that you do control mainstream media. Speaking of that, I was thinking of maybe reaching out to that. Remember that local reporter that wrote an article where Betty was mentioned, and she was very unhappy with it. Well, my goodness, she's become more unhinged acting since that. Maybe that woman would like to, I don't know, do a follow-up. I don't know. I'm not a member of the media. I wish you the best. Oh, yes, we can tell by your lovely heartfelt message. I wish you the best, but my voice will tell all social media to stay clear from discussing or participating in this matter moving forward. And to the family of Sarah Dreyer, please, if you know nothing else, and you don't need me to tell you this because, of course, you know that any soulless bitch that would send this to you, you don't want help from her or her kind. She doesn't help anybody. The only thing she helps is her bank balance via other people's money. Under the guise of being I'm sure this is how all victims advocates behave. Insulting people trying to help is sad, and I'll pray for you and your family. God bless. And I hope your family member is found. No, she doesn't. She doesn't give a shit about your family member, but you don't need me to tell you that. Oh, this is a rather unfortunate sentence. That YouTuber you insulted has helped locate 2 missing people in the last year and a half. Just FYI. My goodness. I don't know about you, but oh boy, that all just screams well-adjusted, kind, benevolent, crusader for victims. Yeah, that's what I got from all that. Betty, you are reviled. Everybody in this community that has functioning going on up here, we're sick of you, Betty. Everybody, Betty, I hate to use the word hate, and I am not trying to speak for the entire community, but in a way I am, because unlike you, I don't sit in an echo chamber. I go all over. And let me tell you something. I don't know who you think you are calling anybody a roach. Yeah, that's a Beavis and Butthead, like 8th grade insult. I'm gonna hold back from saying what I would like to say. But I think I told Ernie one time, don't come for your betters. We'll just leave it there. You are people are, Betty, even the people who have given you the benefit of the doubt. I don't know how, but well, because they're a better person than I am. But even those people, we all see you for exactly who and what you are. I mean, honest to God, I'm starting to question whether you are even human. Because I don't understand how you could. I tell you what, if I was out there at that house, I wouldn't give it. If that woman spit in my face and said, I don't need your fucking help, or anything along that vein, it would just never, ever occur to me to, like, you can't even extend a little bit of grace to someone who doesn't know where their family member is, as if they are not going through enough. And then you come along with you and your other dead birds. Instead of angry birds, y'all are the dead birds. Yeah, you're the vultures. Sorry, vultures, I apologize. But you are. You're those ugly. Oh, that is a perfect analogy for you especially. Him too. All of you. But most especially for you and Chandler. Yeah. You smell the death and destruction, or even if they're not dead, they're down and bleeding out, metaphorically. And ooh, y'all are right there like a magnet, standing on either side, just waiting to pick those bones. It is not normal. It isn't. And anybody who tells you that what they're doing is remotely normal, well, you need to get your head checked too. I mean it, Betty. I'm seeing people who, while maybe certainly not fans of your work, um, who have now taken the gloves off and are just calling you what you are, calling you out on the carpet. They're not mincing words anymore. They're not holding back. Betty, the entire community is not wrong. They're not. Okay, so now, oh yes, and I'm not pulling up the video clip, but let's not forget Betty's words the other day about not all children are worth saving. Betty, hey, child advocate, you might want to make a note. Those are what I like to refer to, what anybody with some class and common sense, common decency, all the things you don't know anything about. So I'm going to tell you, and that way, like, I don't know, isn't this what sociopaths do? Don't sociopaths, like, because they don't feel normal human emotions like the rest of us do, but they're, usually they're, well, I'm not saying that's you. I don't know what your problem is. I think you've got many of them, but even sociopaths, they know that there's something missing within them, but they're smart enough to know that, hey, listen, if I want to be able to keep my cover, I'm going to need to watch these other people and, learn how to mimic normal human emotion, compassion, sympathy, empathy. So, yeah, no, they don't feel it. They copy it and hope that the rest of us out here think that they're with our tribe of normal people. So Betty, those are what I would call inside thoughts, honey. Yeah, because we're talking about very, very young kids here, not somebody who's 17 or very close to 18 and has had a very long and problematic childhood. So they've acted out and done terrible things. So yeah, I don't know. That is not to say that there are not child advocates out there who maybe don't share the sentiment, like, sometimes somebody's just bad. But you're not supposed to let those out of here. There's I've done this before. Like, normal smart people, well, between here and here there's a speed bump. Some people's are higher than others, but that speed bump is called self-control, and that's what holds you back from all the from the inside thoughts just whoop, flying out and then later embarrassing you. But it's clear to me, I mean, the state of your outward appearance alone, and I'm not even being funny, confirms that you don't get it. Like, I've never known a serious person in my life who presents like you do. And I've said repeatedly, and I'm going to keep saying, what makes you ignorant is not your obvious lack of education. And I don't give a shit that you went to a finance company disguised as a college. Congratulations. You're not an educated person, Betty. And you can scream up and down all day about how educated you are, but your lack of that very thing, along with the other things we've talked about up to this point, very clearly show all of us that you're not. I've just never known any serious person who is serious about their career, whatever that career may be. I don't know any career short of outdoor construction and or landscaping work where a woman presents as you do. You have absolutely no pride at all. I think your outside is a crystal clear, newly Windexed window to what goes on between here and here. And people are sick of you. They are sick of you. You represent the absolute worst that this platform has to offer. You are the lowest common denominator amongst all of us. And I do not give a shit if you have 25,000 subs, 250,000 subs, 25 million subs. All that tells me is you have found 25,000 people who are as dumb or dumber than you. That's all that tells me. And that astronomical number that I put in this chat when we first entered the building today, which is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 17 digits. And for any of the kids who weren't here when I put that number in the chat, we're going to say it again. This 17-digit number. Well, actually, here's the equation first. What percentage of 336 billion, which is the approximate population of the world, what percentage of 336 billion is 25,000, which represents how many subs Betty has? That resulting 17-digit number, 0.50744047619048. That is the percentage of Betty's worldwide fame. So I don't give a damn what that number is. And it represents to me what I just said it did. Okay. So yeah, Betty. Which brings us to today's hit parade, Betty's thoughts on, hold on 1 minute, we're going to go to history. And, oh God, oh sweet Jesus. Okay, this is Betty's live today. Yes, it's this one. Let me get this queued up. I'm going to go to the, I think we'll start, well, let's just start with a little bit of delusional fun at the 10-minute and 40-second mark, and we're only going to listen to just a couple of minutes there. Oh, there we go. Ooh, oh goodness. I just picked a, oh goodness, that's rather an unfortunate. Ah, good God in heaven.
For others. So again, we are not responsible for others. We take care of people. We can take care of our bosses. We take care of our children.
You don't have a fucking boss. You don't have a child. I don't think you've ever taken care of anyone in your miserable, shitty life.
Children. We take care of our husbands. We take care of our significant
you
others.
You don't have one of those. I don't think you have a significant other. Oh my goodness. I'm sure the poor bastard that married you. Yeah, the one. Now, was she the one? Did she strangle him or did she punch him? I can't remember which one. Was it her mom she strangled? I can't remember. But yeah, well, wow. My sympathies go out to her former husband. I'm sure he sorely regrets ever laying eyes on her. Although I'm sure, my goodness, look at her. Okay, y'all, I'm serious right now. I'm being hateful because I can't stand her and I don't give a shit. What in the absolute hell is sitting next to her on that couch? I can't figure it out. I don't know what it is. First I thought, is it some kind of the inside of like an old computer? I don't know what it is. But forget that, because that's a lot prettier than the thing in front of us. Honest to God, I have never, truly, I've never had a friend who looks like this. I wouldn't. I am not kidding you. I have seen better fucking panhandlers in the middle of the damn median, in front of Walmart, going into the mall. She is an absolute boiling hot mess who has no pride at all. If you don't have pride in yourself, I mean, and I understand she does her little coffee club. She does her coffee club early in the morning, and but the hair, like, it's not even funny anymore. Honest to God, I've said it so many times. I mean, the hair alone tells you she's got a screw loose, in my opinion. I mean, she's got roots that are fucking 2 inches. And I get it. I'm sure the reason those roots are so bad is because maybe the point has been sufficiently driven home that, ma'am, you have destroyed anything that at one time resembled human hair. Hell, I've seen fucking the Barbie head I used to play with when I was a little girl. Does anybody remember those? It had suction cups on the bottom, and it was like nothing but Barbie's head and shoulders. And the hair was one step up from yarn, but it was nice and shiny. That doll's hair was far superior to anything she's got going on. I mean, I think that's why she's got the roots, because she knows that you touch any of that shit, that every time she puts more color in her hair, she's going to have more breakage. But it's like, there's no saving it. It's a wrap. It's done. It's over. Call it a day. Buy a wig or get a wall clipper. No guard. And what's crazy is it would probably come back. I mean, clearly she's rather, naturally dark-haired. It would probably come back. Like, she would look at it and probably touch it and not even know what it is, because she's had this shit on her head for so long. So, but my God, could you put like a scarf, a do-rag? I don't know, pull it back. Like, how about one of these, just at the nape of your neck, and then you put a pony around it? Although no, it'll just break off. There's nothing she can do. I'm not even kidding. There is absolutely positively nothing she can do to salvage that fucking mess on top of her head. It's gone. It's a wrap. So, okay, there's that. She's a fucking slob. She's Archie Bunker. That's who she is. She is Archie Bunker. I have never seen a woman. I have seen homeless women that have more pride than her. And I mean that. This is how she wants to present herself to the world. Stifler's mom, absolutely. A baseball hat. Absolutely. I don't know. How about, like, as a way to try and like take the focus off of this disaster, I don't know, would it be out of the question to put a little bit of like tinted moisturizer She's always in some fucking nasty looking t-shirt. She's just disgusting. She is disgusting inside and out. She is an absolute disaster. I truly, it's like, I don't know who makes me more angry. Her for like insulting all of womanhood, or the idiots that follow her. And here's the reality of it. If she looked like that, the whole thing, the hair, the whole nine, if she looked like that, but she was a sweet, kind soul, do you think for 1 minute, I'm not going to speak for everybody, but I kind of think I can. I can speak for me. Do you think for 1 minute I would say one word about her? We might joke about it, like, we all have people we talk to that we've met on YouTube, that we talk to real life off of YouTube. Yeah, we might joke around about it, but it would never be the way she gets drug on the regular. I cannot figure out if, I think she is so insecure and has no self-worth at all, which is sad. But she then projects that, all of that, and it comes out as she's just so hateful. She is hateful. If I had to come up with one word for her, that's what it would be. It would be hateful. She's just horribly hateful. Carrying on.
But we need to take care of ourselves first. And it goes in line, in my opinion, with, the whole plane scenario, right? When the plane, there's some kind of oxygen issue in the cabin. What do they ask you to do first? They tell you to put your mask on first, then help others, right?
She wouldn't.
And I think that this whole self-care, and you guys,
if she had anybody on the plane with her, no, she'd kick them into the aisle and then take their mask as well.
You guys know how I feel about self-care.
Did she just say that? Self-care? Betty, you have not exercised self-care since probably middle school. This is the kind of shit that makes me crazy. You guys know how I feel about self-care. I don't know how you feel about self-care. All I can do is go by the self that clearly has no care. That's all I can go by. So she either is delusional in this statement, or she's not saying what we obviously know. Oh God, I can't get distracted by the chat.
The whole self-care and the whole me generation, this really addresses that here. This is not the self-care that they're talking about. They're talking about you taking care of yourself so you can be a better person to those around you.
I'm just, this is not the first time I've made this statement. I don't think I've ever seen Betty's eyes without having pinpoint pupils. And listen, there's plenty of things that can cause that to happen that are not nefarious. All I'm saying is I've never seen her not having pinpoint pupils.
And that is a great messaging for today. Many of us need that. We need to realize we're not responsible for the world. We're not responsible.
You're not even responsible for your fucking hair.
We're responsible for ourselves.
Yeah, no.
And the people that we take care of.
Atlas.
And
Betty,
we don't even.
Betty, honey, I know this is a higher education thing. Like, this book does not have pictures, but Betty, shrug. Okay. Do what Atlas did. When Atlas had the weight of the world's disco ball across the back of his shoulders, yes, Atlas shrugged. Betty, you need to shrug too, honey. That book you've been reading for 15 years. Oh God, I don't know. Find another one. Because clearly no, it's not working. Back to the inside thoughts. I don't know about you, but I'm never ever admitting that I've been reading the same book for 15 years, unless it's the Bible. I mean, oh God. DIY psychology. Oh, the language of letting go.
Yeah. Even need to be overly responsible for the people we take care of.
You don't take care of anybody. You do the opposite, as a matter of fact.
So in our normal book of language of letting go, please bear with me.
The language of letting go. And then we have the coordinating snot rub. I sure hope that we're going to see the vape pen, because nothing says advocate like sitting on your pleather looking couch. Do you think Betty rents her furniture? I have a feeling she does. Nothing says advocate like rolling straight on out of your bed. Well, we've already talked enough about that. I don't need to keep beating that,
because I did not read this prior to coming live, but because of it, I'm going to go ahead and read it. Keep Your Balance, April 17th, in our traditional language of letting go book. Sometimes our legitimate needs and wants run amok. We want something so badly. For instance, our spouse sobering up, or that
recognition for accomplishing something in this life besides an impressive criminal and civil docket history. Yeah, I get it. No, not really.
Job, or that woman, or that man that we begin to obsess and dwell. We take ourselves out of what place of balance and end up in a no-win tailspin.
Sorry, I'm really sorry to do this, but I'm going to have to.
It's not that we want what we want
and need. Betty, perhaps if you actually try to read the book for yourself and the boiling hot mess that is you, and instead of trying to teach the class every morning, maybe if you just shut the fuck up for 5 minutes and I think Betty probably never mind. Yeah. So Betty, apparently this book has just given you quite a bit of difficulty. So it's either too hard for you to understand, which is probably the case, or many of us, myself included, I would not comprehend something as well if I was trying to be the teacher to all of your very, I'm sure, brilliant chat. Yeah, so just Betty, try going to bed at an early night hour, and just get yourself a nice cup of warm tea, and maybe sit up in your bed with your book, that maybe a little bit of it'll actually hit the mark. The target will, like God, what were those things? Like, a heat-seeking missile.
Is bad for us. It's just that right now I can't even read this morning. I need my glasses. Right now,
I believe
what we is obviously place. Don't get on need by that anyways. Relax, come back to the center, to that clear, balanced place. Don't let your needs and desires run away with you. Yes, passion is great stuff. Identify what you want. Then let it go.
Please, Betty, find a passion. Find a passion besides grifting and terrorizing victims of crime. We would all, Betty, I will buy you whatever book you want. How's that for a deal?
Is today I will come back to balance with any need or want that seems to be controlling my life. Instead
Oh,
of
please.
dwelling
I
on it,
have
I'll give
something
it to
right
God
here
and
that
focus on
I'm
taking
sorry.
care
I
of myself.
can't let it go.
Lots of information.
Let me see. I think it's within arm's reach. Oh, wait. Other cabinet. Hold on. Oh, yes, there it is. Trust me, it'll be worth this. I'm going to try and pick this up from son of a bitch. I knew it was going to happen. Okay, hold on. I have to do this because it just, it just kind of goes along with what we've been listening to Betty. And I'll get my pen while I'm down here. Good Lord. It will go along nicely with what we've been listening to Betty drone on. I would say opine if I thought that's what she was actually doing, but it's not. It's just Betty bloviating hot air like she always does. How did I lose a shoe? Who does that? Where the hell did my shoe? Okay, wait a minute. This is very strange. How could I have lost a shoe? Oh, because it's on the, well, look at there. Oh, Lisa's a boiling hot mess right now. See all this talk about Betty. Oh, damn it. I'm going through a lot of work for this. You guys better start laughing. I want to see a whole bunch of laughing emojis in that chat. Okay, hold on. Y'all are really going to be calling me Tube Top Tammy. Is that her name? Okay, hold on a minute. I've got to find my home. Ready? Namaste. Oh, that was a lot of work for that. There you go. Yes. Hit me with them. Oh, honestly, I don't know if I just have too much shit or if I just have, you guys, I buy the dumbest stuff. Like I don't do yoga. I don't do, Buddhist chanting or anything like that. But when I was in Savannah, I saw one of these. This is a Tibetan song bowl with, maybe Betty needs one. The one I saw was like the size of a salad bowl with a price to match. So, you know what? That was actually a gift now that I remember. My girlfriend that was with me on the trip, she gave me that for my birthday. Okay. I just thought it was very apropos with where we were with, our, well, God almighty. I mean, Betty drops knowledge like a damn Buddhist monk.
About taking care of yourself in the language of letting go. Sorry for the misspeaking when reading. Sometimes the stuff runs together, especially in light of me not having my glasses. I don't even know where my glasses are.
I wish I didn't have mine.
And sometimes I need them. I have them, right?
Can we talk about that?
Now we're going to go on in. That was great messaging, I thought. Something that everybody can.
It was great messaging, I thought, but like everything else in my life, it's just a useless prop. Yes, because I'm not actually insightful or reflective enough to take. I mean, I'm sorry. I just would think that if you have wasted 15 years of your life reading the same book, I mean, wouldn't you want to put just a little bit of it into use? Much like Betty's docket history that I could wallpaper my powder room with. Do you think Betty knows what a powder room is? Not that kind of powder, Betty. Wrong kind of powder. Okay.
Today, but I think that the message is, taking care of yourself. You're okay. You're allowed to say no. You're allowed not to worry or be responsible for others today.
Well, God knows you're never responsible for anybody.
I'm getting. Let me turn this off so we don't hear dinging, but I can still read my stuff.
Yes. You might have an important board meeting.
I'm thinking of a new shirt, right? I was inspired yesterday.
What is that?
And a new shirt is.
I mean, that demented cackle is so disturbing. And I know I'm not the only one who feels that way. Every time I hear it, you just know. Oh, listen, y'all heard my little story the other day about when I was a kid and I would read those like Disney princess books, and they would say, you will know it is time to turn the page when you hear this sound. And, I'd have the little 45 on my record player. And, you had the book that you read along with. And this lovely, it sounded like if little fairy wings had a sound. That's what it would sound like. Betty's book must have been like kitchen witch cackle. That demented witch cackle. That's the only way I can describe it. Psychotic cackle. You know that you are bad things are coming. Duty Ron, buckle up.
It's going to be coming out. I saw something yesterday that just really inspired me, and it's going to be something like roses are red.
We're going right to the okay. Whoop! I went a little bit too far.
Is trained to investigate cases.
She is trained to investigate,
and he has one person or several people going to him. Now, this is a man that was on a court hearing that accidentally.
Hold on, I went a little too far. Can anybody in the chat tell me, because I truly do not know, what is this that she's talking about? And I know it's something that happened because I've heard, if it was just her saying it, I would never take this dumbass's word for anything. I know that this is something that actually happened. Duty Ron and some other creators were on a link to a hearing or something, and there was a hot mic moment. Can somebody tell me? Oh, thanks, Texas Tiffany. Can somebody tell me what? Just tell me what the case was. Yeah, I don't need to know anything else but that. That's all I know. Because I truly don't know what it was that happened. I'm glad to see I'm not the only one that is traumatized every time I hear that real life kitchen witch speak or laugh. Okay. It was AWP. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so now moving on to some of Betty's vitriolic thoughts for Duty Ron.
Ended tangent about this whole bullhorn. Now we're going to move over. I was trying to make a point and I lost track in the details, but that's okay. We're going to move forward now to the comments from Duty Ron. Okay, now I do want to make a message for those that like to clip and tattle on me to Duty Ron. You can clip this. I have lost an enormous amount of respect in Duty Ron, and here's why.
Oh,
because he is a law enforcement agent. He's somebody that has.
Well, I'm pretty sure, Betty, that Duty Ron couldn't give two flaming shits what you think of him now, or that's a particularly cruel still. Yeah, Betty, this is the part of the program where I start getting like, God, I tend to think there's probably a very strong prescription medication out there that maybe could help her. I don't know.
Trained to investigate cases, and he has one person or several people going to him. Now
and let's just all state the obvious. Duty Ron is retired. He is a retired NYPD detective.
This is a man that was on a court hearing that accidentally unmuted himself during a
key word being accidentally. I mean, the word accidentally, God knows, I wish this ugly, hideous, evil bitch like could mute herself, because if she could, well, YouTube would be a much happier place. But the key word here is accidentally. There was nothing malicious. There was no malicious intent.
Proceeding, a court
Right.
proceeding, and was talking during that court proceeding, causing a disruption in that court proceeding, unbeknownst to him. A mistake, an accident, right?
Oh,
An accident that almost cost a hearing, right?
what does that mean? Almost cost a hearing. I'm not going to say anything more on it because I truly don't know, but I'm taking issue with what she said. Almost cost a hearing. I don't know what the fuck that means. As with most things that come out of her viperous mouth, it's not in the King's English that I so love. And her speech is as convoluted and chaotic, I would imagine, as her non-existent punctuation and all the things that are, going on or not going on up there.
Of his commotion while he was unmuted. So it is a little upsetting for me that somebody like that has made mistakes in court hearings that have
this from the woman who has 42 entries in the criminal and civil docket. And she is all verklempt and probably going to lose sleep tonight over the fact that Duty Ron had a hot mic moment. But we are supposed to overlook her prolific criminal past. Betty, it would behoove you to show a little, well, God bless you, Betty, some Christian charity towards your, fellow YouTubers.
Actually disrupted court hearings, not be a little more accommodating or understanding to somebody that made a mistake.
You didn't make a mistake, you evil bitch. In my opinion, what Betty did was the furthest thing from a mistake that there could be. And she proceeds to lie her ass off about, I've known lots of people like Betty in my life, unfortunately. Not with a criminal record as prolific as hers, but this, I think I mentioned this before. They often were the bullshitters amongst us. Yeah, it's that person who, despite being smarter than maybe a fern, anybody else, not so much. They're always the ones who want to double speak you and talk in big circles and what's the word I've heard her use? Word salad? Yeah. There she is, right there. She wants to put forth that, well, what I'm getting at is this. When she's about to say that she called the clerk and they walked her right through how to get on the stream. Yes, I'm sure they did. What absolutely, unequivocally, without a doubt, did not happen was, well, what was the first thing she said that the district attorney gave her special permission? Well, I can see why, because she is, apparently she's even known on the West Coast. Betty, East Coast, West Coast. Are you like a Crip or a Blood? Which one are you? Yeah, Betty, you're full of shit. And only the real dumb people would believe such a thing.
Rules. I had spoken to the courts. They provided me the link to stream.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until people came in that I spoke to, and I called back that same sounded like the same clerk that I spoke to that walked me through.
Oh,
is
yes,
the one
because I'm sure the Kern County Courthouse, located in Bakersfield, California. I'm sure that's just a little like mom and pop shop with, 3 people that work in the whole place. And no, I don't believe what she did was read the chat who was saying, "What the fuck are you doing? You are not allowed to be streaming that. I am a legal professional." Now she wants to rewrite a little bit of history because she's been drugged up and down the YouTube streets. She looks like a damn fool, like she always does. And we're going to do a little revisionist history. And she wants you to believe that, like everything, she's very open to constructive criticism. Ooh, Christina, big knickers. Christina, you must be from across the pond. Did we have this talk before? I think we did. Do you call M&M's Smarties? Okay, moving on.
Spoke to the second time I called. And she was very adamant, let me get you to the right person. She didn't want to answer any more questions because I think she made a mistake. And that is okay.
No, you
made
a mistake
nonetheless. But here's why I lost the respect in Duty Ron. It is because he chose not to look into the matter before he opened his mouth. That is a major no-no for law enforcement.
Reputation precedes you. He knows exactly what you are about. He spent a career dealing with people just like you. He doesn't need to. Oh, are we going to use one of her favorite buzzwords here? Due diligence. No, Duty Ron doesn't need to do any of that, Betty, because this entire community thinks you are the joke that you are. Okay, so give Duty Ron a break. My goodness, the man is busy with a YouTube channel that, far surpasses yours.
When you have somebody working a case for you, when you have somebody investigating a case, one thing you do not want from a law enforcement officer is them jumping the gun or making conclusions.
No, bitch. No. Shall we go back just a little? Take a little walk with me. Let's go back to Savannah, Georgia, where this ass clown and her merry band of white trash criminals who, not for nothing, I do believe I was told that most of the people out there who had children, yes, I said had, because, well, my goodness, the reason they were so upset with Leilani probably went a little something like this. My understanding is many of those people that were kind of in the beginnings of Betty's posse, they they were pissed because, well, by God, they've lost all their kids to CPS, so why didn't Leilani? Yeah, one of those kinds of things. But it's interesting that she has the unmitigated gall to say what she just said, because that is the exact thing that she lost her mind screaming every day, all day for 2 weeks to Chief Hadley. What are you waiting for? What's taking so long? Arrest her already. But when it's Betty, she's losing her fucking mind because a YouTube creator who knows what she is and what she's all about, because he spent a career dealing with people just like her. So, I mean, hypocrite much? Betty, this is just one of the many reasons people can't stand you.
Based on conjecture or
tattletale. That's a big word for Betty.
Right? So a bunch of people went in there and said, oh, Bullhorn Betty's doing this and Bullhorn Betty's doing that.
People hate your guts, bitch. How many times do we have to go over this?
Bullhorn Betty said this, and he's getting secondhand information and he's running with it.
Like I said, Betty,
this is somebody.
Your reputation precedes you.
that we
Sorry
trust
about
not
that.
to do that, in all fairness. And for it to come from
You've
somebody
never
that
met all
actually
fairness.
disrupted a court hearing by accident is even further frustrating for Bullhorn-Betty, because it's okay.
Here we go with the for Bullhorn-Betty. Like I said, I think there's probably very pretty colored pills that might be able to help her.
For him to make mistakes, but nobody else.
Nobody,
right?
It's more notable when you get something right, idiot. Okay? Everybody makes mistakes. There's not a normal creator on this platform that cannot extend grace to someone who makes a mistake. In your case, it's more notable when you get something right.
So, Duty Ron, maybe pull some of that earwax out of your ear, and maybe do some investigation before you decide to slander somebody on your live in front of
Nobody
thousands of people.
slandered you.
Wait for
okay? Let me school you here from somebody who has a real legal education. Defamation is comprised of slander and libel. Slander is spoken, libel is written. The key element in slander, defamation, the broader heading, you would need to prove that what was said, first and foremost, was untrue, and then that it damaged your, Betty, your reputation. You don't have one. It's in the toilet. Your reputation exists in the sewer system, the septic tank of YouTube. So nice try, but good luck with that. And I know Betty loves to throw around the cease and desist. You know, when I was walking my dog this morning and I heard her going on and on about, you can expect your cease and desist, I thought, God, it's too bad that she brings to mind. Never mind.
For my cease and desist, it will be coming.
Oh, wait.
Just because you didn't say my name doesn't mean you didn't imply me, doesn't mean you didn't attach me to those statements.
Betty, I have news for you. Despite the fact that you think you're world famous, you are not. And I would love to see you present that argument in a court of law. Because first and foremost, they would watch the video clip. Then they would see your resume. And please refer back to the statement I made a moment ago that your reputation is in the septic tank of YouTube. I'll be waiting for my cease and desist. And I think Betty, hey, Earth, how are you doing? Like with most things, she's wrong. Betty, you can send all the cease and desist letters you want. That's just the opening salvo in the conflict to come. Now I'll give you a super chat if you can tell me what that means. Oh, I think that's about the end of that. I don't want to hear any more.
And that's very bad for you.
Bitch.
Very, very bad for you.
Very, very
so,
bad.
So just FYI, mistakes happen all the time.
Especially in your case.
We hope that when we make mistakes on YouTube that it doesn't cost us our channels.
So. Oh, yes, Betty, like yourself, right? I know you are very receptive to acknowledging when you've made a mistake. My goodness, if you had to do that, Betty, well, you'd never sleep. I mean, I don't know if you do. You certainly don't look like sleep is something you get much of. The hypocrisy of this woman wanting to lecture, wanting to pontificate like you're giving the fucking Sermon on the Mount. And you being the religious woman that you are, Betty, well, you'll know what I'm referring to. Oh, Saucy, yes, aren't you? Aren't you just, oh God. I know I'll be all verklempt. I'll be up waiting for my cease and desist. Saucy, you're right. I'm sure I do. Well, pictures is what she understands. Okay, I think that's about all of that hateful, vile, foul, disgusting bitch that I can stomach. As I was watching Betty, I was going to play another clip, but I've had enough of her. I truly have. She is just disgusting. She is hideous in every way, inside and out. I don't know if she's rotted from the inside out, rotted from the outside in. I don't know if they happen simultaneously. I don't know. But Betty, you bring nothing to this community except vitriol, venom, hate, anger, conflict, lies. Oh, let's not forget threats. That's her. That's one of her go-tos. What exactly is it that you bring to the table? And I mean, I'll be glad for the day that I can scratch you off my project list on YouTube only. Because you see, I'm not a punk bitch like you. I think I told you before, you are you're the dollar store clearance rack version of me. I'm sure that's what you would like to be. You will never be. I don't have to threaten people's families when I don't get my way, when I'm exposed for nothing but the truth. That's all. There may be people that lie about you on here. I don't know why they would, because you're all of you, the undeniable truth. Why would anybody need to lie? I'm not a punk like you are. I don't throw around words like cease and desist, feeling the cease and desist is coming. I mean, is there anybody that you do not think you are smarter than or know more than? Because, I mean, maybe a medical doctor, but even that, I'm pretty sure she thinks she's. Stifler, what are we? Oh, yes, we are naming some things she brings. Yes, that's true. We did. We just didn't name any good things because there are none. I always wonder why she was so, oh my goodness, she was so famous on TikTok. Why do you think she left TikTok? I mean, I've always been of the school of thought, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So why did she leave TikTok? Now, I've heard various reasons. I've heard they ran her off because, and maybe this is just what she does. Maybe she goes to a platform. See, Betty's a bottomless pit of need. She'll never be filled up because the normal things that validate people and fill them up, their families, their significant other, their career. She doesn't have a career. She's got a pretend fantasy career. Her career is grifting. That's her career. But all these things that, like, this is her life. This consumes her, this place. wouldn't, like, I don't know. To me, I think in not so small part, what I could see kind of explaining why she is how she is, I think she knows that she doesn't have any real legit things to bring to the table except for her singular ability to make an idiot, an absolute fool out of herself, misbehaving. She has no filter. She's got a long record that proves she cannot conform to societal norms. I actually thought her last law enforcement run-in, or we'll say interaction, I thought it was like 2012. I had a clip channel that you guys all watch, and it's not Heels in the Air. Somebody else reached out to me and said, no, it was from 2017. Cops were at her house about a dispute that was going on, I think, with the ex-husband. There was no arrest, but the law was out there. At least that's what I was told. And I don't believe this person would have said that if that was completely fabricated. Because you see, most of us are not like Betty. We don't have a long storied history of arrests and legal proceedings. So I don't think it would be such a stretch to envision a scenario, but with her, it's way beyond a scenario. It's a way of life. I mean, I don't know about you, but I can tell you Brian Laundrie's house was just a couple hours from me, a very short car ride. It would have never, I don't even know that I had a channel then, but I promise you, if I had, never in 1,000,000 years would it have ever occurred to me to go stand in front of that house. Do y'all know how hot it is here in Florida at that time of the year? That is just one of many. That's way down the list of reasons not to. I'm just kind of making a joke. And my goodness, that was Molly. Never mind. I was going to say, good God, Molly and her big fat ass on national news. God, I don't know about you, but please, if I end up on world news, please don't let it be with my giant ass in a pair of shorts that I had to use friggin' probably Crisco to get into. I mean, but they're the same kind of person. It's the same mindset. There's something either missing or deficient within them. They are not validated or filled up by the things that most of us are. So, unlike me and probably 95% of the other creators on here, who this is not your, you're not making your channel a career. So those of us who just do this as a hobby, when we shut the camera off, it's done. Like, I'm not sitting around doing research. I'm not sending cease and desist. I'm not like sitting and plotting, how am I going to move up the algorithm? No, God, I can't be bothered. And I am 100,000,000% me. This is Lisa, for better or for worse. Now, obviously, I'm like everybody else. I show you what I want you to see. And, I'm a little bit of a magician. I'm smoke and mirrors. But that's everybody. And I would never claim anything else. Betty would tell you that, no, that I don't roll that way. So when that is your scenario and you have a real family life, you have a profession, you have real world friends, etc., etc., you do not have a desire to come on social media and just like make your goal becoming one of the most reviled. I don't think it's a coincidence that the word vile is in the word reviled. It's no, like, oh. So I can very much see a scenario where she starts off on whatever platform she started on, and because she's doesn't I don't relate to her way of thinking, whatever it may be. And you all know there's a lot of nut bars out here, and social media, you got to do something to set, if that's what you want, you got to do something to set yourself apart from all the other kids in class. And you're only going to do that a few ways. You're either going to be incredibly brilliant, incredibly physically attractive, incredibly rich maybe, and you do like tours of your fabulous life, blah, blah, blah. Or if you're somebody like her who's never had any of those things and you're never going to, because let me tell you something, Betty could marry her fucking idol, Donald Trump, tomorrow. And you couldn't fix her. You couldn't, because it's a mindset. It's a mentality. All the money in the world won't fix that. I mean, you can get yourself a lot of therapy, but so for those people like her, if being YouTube famous is your goal, and let's not forget that number again, class, with 17 digits after the decimal point. Okay, that number represents the world's population and the percentage that Betty's 25,000 subs represent in said population of the world. It just kind of puts it all in perspective, because in my mind, when you've got a number that's 17 digits long, well, my 600 some odd sub channel, Betty, we're equal. We're exactly the same, okay? So put that in your peace pipe and smoke it. Yeah, that's another thing, Betty. Here's just a little word of advice. I do believe your fellow pimp gave you this advice at one time. Betty, I don't know too many reporters, paralegals, victims advocate, child advocate. I don't know too many of them that smoke on camera out of a fucking e-cig. Oh, and Betty, I was just wondering, something struck me. For a woman such as yourself, who's just so brilliant and such a seasoned world traveler, why in the hell can you not get from Florida to Georgia? Betty, you go straight. You go in a straight line for about 6 or 7 hours. I've never seen someone who makes so many turns on the interstate. if my sciatic nerve would cooperate a little longer, and it won't, I would just pull up another clip of her. But I've heard enough of that fat, wretched beast. She literally is, there is nothing that she will not complain about. Everything from the gas station to the gas pumps. And she was going on and on about this gas station. And, well, this looks like she wasn't happy with the way the gas station looked. I mean, I saw it from before she got her big ass back into the car to go to a gas station that's, more in line with her very high standard self. And I thought, well, damn, that doesn't look. Listen, I was expecting like a damn deliverance outpost. There was nothing wrong with that gas station. And she's going on and on about, I don't go to gas stations where I have to go inside with my credit card and blah, 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 blah. And I thought, you know what I bet that is? Some gas stations, if you have a debit card, they make you come inside. Because I think it's a different kind of authorization. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But it was just, I've never seen, hey, London girl, how are you? I have never seen such a malcontent. I mean, Betty, it's pretty bad when Dolly and his nightly Deliverance Hollywood Squares panel. I'm just kidding. I don't. Hollywood Squares, yes. YouTube. Not exactly Hollywood. No. Yeah, that would be like the, I don't know. I would have to think more on that. But yes, it reminds me of Hollywood Squares. That's not in Hollywood. It's pretty bad when Dolly's Hollywood Square Turtle Island game, when even all of those people who are supposedly, I mean, wasn't he your boyfriend or your like, oh God. I'm sure that turtle, that turtle never wanted to come out of that shell. That poor turtle had to, whoa. Yeah, Betty, I think even the turtles, I don't think even the turtles want you, Betty. I think even the turtles are like, damn, she's a bitch. And they seem to be a pretty accepting group of folks. Yeah, Dial. My goodness, what do they call that? Like beer goggles? Is that what you boys call that? I know what my husband would call it. But yeah, I think it's called the coyote. Yeah, where like that's what my husband said. He said, "Oh, yeah, that would be a coyote morning," and I'm like, "What?" Yeah, I guess that's something that boys, well, maybe girls too. I don't know, but yeah, I guess like if you've been out somewhere and you've been enjoying some beverages or substances, I don't know, and you're feeling no pain, and maybe you meet a turtle, and you and that turtle, and yeah, oh God, this is getting to a bad place. But like maybe when your beer goggles are off in the morning and you look over and you're like, and yeah, he said kind of like, like a poor little animal that got its leg in a trap. And sometimes that's, it hurts my heart to even think about that. I'm an animal lover, but he didn't mean like the fuzzy, like kind you pet. No. Yeah, like he said, oh God, you chew your leg off to get out of that bed and not wake up your formerly supermodel looking last night's date. Like, don't call me, I'll call you. Oh, yeah. But yeah, so I can envision a thing where I've always questioned, why'd you leave TikTok? If maybe it was just money, I don't know. But I don't know. I kind of feel like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So now you're over to YouTube, and you are widely despised in this community. People are sick and tired of you and all the rest of them, because it's like y'all have gone well past the point that anybody, even people who have given you every benefit of every doubt, we're so far past the point of explaining away any of the vile shit that she says and does, and her disgusting little her pocket person. God, she's bigger than he is. Oh, her arms alone, Betty, girl. That purple Disco Inferno mess from Cache circa 1999 2000. Yeah, Betty, oh God, never. No, the only place I would recommend you wear that, I don't know that we have these anymore. Back in the day, in Florida at least, I don't know if they're a national chain, we still have them. ABC Liquor Store, ABC Liquor Lounge. They're not called ABC Liquor Lounge anymore, but back in the day when I was a kid, like high school, that was a place you could go. Okay, so it's a big liquor store, but certain ABC lounges had a club inside. And when I was in high school, if you picked the right one that was like not in your immediate town, but maybe a county or so over, you could, if you had a fake ID, you could go into the ABC Liquor Lounge. Betty, that's the only place I would ever, or someplace very dark. Yeah, that thing, no. And sleeveless is not for you, not in any color. We do not need all these geometric accoutrement. No, we don't need all that. You do not need any embellishments that I'm sure in your mind you think they're crystals. They're not. They're acrylic beads is what they are. No. Sleeveless, no bueno. Not, nope. Betty, I mean, for someone famous, you got to tighten this game up, okay? You got to get your like appearing to be human game tightened up. You've got to get the fashion game, girl. I don't even know if I can help you. I mean, I could, but no. Kind of like my hairdresser said when I said, if she walked in, what would you charge? No. But I'm happy to throw you some generic advice that, anybody who knows anything about taste, style, just smallest bit of decorum and class. Yeah, Betty, you don't need to go dressed to the nines. I think you meant 0.09. You wouldn't know dressed to the nines if it was on a 2x4 coming up the backside of your head. No, no. And here's the good news. You don't need to be dressed to the nines to go to court, Betty. You just need to be appropriate. And, despite how good I make this tube top look, I'm sorry. I know you're very bothered by my fake tits, as you called them. I mean, like everything, I got them at the best store. And I'm sorry that when I get out of bed in the morning, I don't have to pick them up off the floor and throw them over my shoulder to go get my coffee. I mean, but all that is to say that, even though I'm doing wonders for this tube top, I wouldn't wear it to court because you want to try and, be appropriate wherever you go. And, I know how much I know how bothered you are by how did she put that? I've never gotten clarification on this. I love it when the mouth breathing, like poorly spoken juvenile people try to insult. And it goes a little something like this. She told me I had one foot on the grave and one in a banana peel, which I haven't heard since, I don't know. I'm a big fan of old movies, so probably like the days of Charlie Chaplin. But at least I understood that. I mean, I know what it meant. But here's the part I didn't get. Little girl. Oh, Betty, by the way, when you call a woman that's 10 years older than you and looks 15 years younger, when you call her little girl, it's just kind of gross. It's creepy. Like it's uncomfortable creepy. Not because it's rude or it's creepy. Okay. Betty, you're that. But it's not just you. Like if there's one of my pet peeves, and this happens a lot. To me, it's just a commentary on like a very lack of respect in the wider society. When I go to a Starbucks or a restaurant or I'm paying for something at the store, and a girl who's young enough to be my daughter starts calling me sweetie and honey and baby. That's so gross. God, I hate that. It assumes a familiarity. Wow. If I'd have known that was going to be so hard to say, I'd have picked another word. Familiarity. There, I did it. Familiarity. It assumes a familiarity that is not there. So she said, and those fake tits, I hope they will keep you floating when you're buried. Or, oh my God, it was like, it puts the lotion in the basket kind of weird. Like, I mean, I'm sure Betty would love to be me, but okay, I know. I'll be there in a minute. Yeah, it was just like uncomfortable. But yeah, I don't know what that means. Oh, so flow, absolutely. But that would be kind of like putting the proverbial lipstick on a pig. I mean, it wouldn't matter. It would not matter. No, we'd have to. What was that show? The Swan. It was on like one season. Yeah, like don't be hating on the girls who like gravity is not a problem for. It's like, God, there's nothing worse than a woman who, listen, I can tell you this without a doubt. Any woman especially who is her age, who cannot say a nice thing about another woman. I mean, I was like that when I was in high school and even when I was in my early 20s. Oh yeah, I was that girl. Like if anybody I thought looked better than me, oh yeah, no, she was a bitch. She was this, she was that. That's being immature. Betty's in her 40s. I mean, I could even say something nice. I am going to say something nice about her. I think her eyebrows, I think she does a fine job with her eyebrows, shockingly. So there you go. Like, I can even come up with some, but I guess my point is, like, if my husband and I are out somewhere and I don't know, maybe some 20 some odd year old little waitress comes over and takes our order and she's very sweet and cute. Like, I can look at my husband and say, oh my gosh, she's a cute girl. Why? Because I'm not wildly insecure. I'm not worried that my husband's going to be giving the fucking waitress our phone number, or well, probably not our phone number, his phone number when I go to the bathroom. That's Betty. Like, if you can't say something nice about another woman, and I don't mean me, of course, I would not expect her. I wouldn't expect her to say anything nice about me. But she's that girl. She doesn't say anything nice about anybody. Very immature. Oh, so Flo. It's like I don't know what that situation is. I have heard her say in the past, you don't get a face that's I swear to you, she said something about stabbed. She said something about you don't get a face that looks like this without having been in a bunch of fights or some bullshit like that. It's not acne scarring. That's not that I've ever heard her say. And because I promise you, if it was, I would never say one word about that. I point out Betty's ugliness when Betty is ugly. I hold a mirror up to her, tell her about herself. It's all we can do until she goes away, until she takes mercy on us and she goes the fuck away. Betty, go find a platform that you haven't been run off of already. And go take your brilliance there. I mean, if I were you, thank God I'm not. But if I was, I'd want to go to a place where I'm not kidding you. My YouTube queue this morning, it was hard to find a thumbnail that wasn't about Betty. And people do it on from here to here. If I'm up here in taking the gloves off, if I'm up here, we run the gamut from being up here all the way down to here in severity and everything in between. I mean, if it was me, I would Betty, you're not going to turn this ship around with your fellow creators on here. And all you create, you like to call people roach channels. I don't know where you get off. Because I'm not going to tell you, in my world, I'm not going to tell you what you would be. And that's not really because of you. I know that doesn't make sense what I just said. Okay, I promise I'm done. Okay, so my little dog is down here. He needs to go to the bathroom, and when he only gives me a few warnings, and then he's like, "Okay, bitch. Well, if you don't want to take me out where I'm supposed to go, then you can clean a mess up in your kitchen." I don't want to do that. So, all right, everybody. I thank you all so much for joining me, and I hope that I hope things are going to calm down to a dull roar. I somehow doubt it, but I hope that she doesn't traumatize anybody else in the next, yeah, until I'm back on here again. I don't know when that'll be. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. I have that wedding to go to out of town this weekend, so I will not be on here at all over the weekend. But don't you worry, I'll be, well, on my way home after the weekend, I will catch up. I'll catch up on all the insanity. All right, everybody. I hope you have a very good Monday evening. And is Savage going live tonight? Who else does Mondays? Oh, Burnt Toast. Yes. So if they're both live, I'll jump in and out of both of them. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope everybody has a great night, and well, we'll meet again depending on what happens. If we have anything to talk about in the next day or two. All right, everybody. Thank you. Have a great